Good morning, guys and girls. How's it going? It's me, Scree, behind the camera for this time. So I'm not doing too well today. Actually, I'm quite sick. I was meant to go to work and I didn't manage to go. I've got a really bad flare-up and I'm generally not doing too well at the moment. So I'm making a sort of like a flatbread sort of pie kind of pasty thing. So what I've done is I've rolled out the flatbread here, put on some lentils, and what I'm going to do is fold it up, hopefully, a bit harder one-handed. There we go, fold it up, pinch down the sides. Now this is the flatbread I made last night, so I had it all prepared for this morning, because I was going to do this for breakfast. Test it out. Got a bit of an air bubble there. Hopefully none of those escape. Okay, a little bit holy. So again, we'll fold it up. This one's a little bit better because it's a little bit bigger. Fold in those sides. Incredibly hard, one-handed. Why did I decide to do this one-handed? Oh, there you go. Try and keep the camera in focus. Concentrating too much on the pie instead of what I'm doing. So, there we go. We have fire. That is good. So, what I've been doing is using baking paper to keep my pastry sort of, my dough and bread sort of okay, and I'm keeping it just in the fridge. So there you go, as you can see, that's the bottom layer. And I'm just keeping it sealed with this little extra bit of a baking tray. So I'll pop that back in the fridge. Show you me quickly. So yeah, I'm doing the best today. I'm using the front camera, so this is probably out of focus or not in the right spot. Hooray. So yeah, I'm really feeling quite sick, in all honesty. So I'm just going to eat something sort of quickly and see how I go. I'm actually not too hungry, in all honesty. Last night's meal was quite good. I didn't wake up hungry or anything like that. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon now, so this is when I'm just getting up. I did wake up earlier this morning and had to go back to bed because I was feeling rather sick and rather unwell, unfortunately. But hopefully I will be doing better today. So let's switch the camera around. There we go. Anyone that gets motion sick is going to feel fantastic after that. So this is my lovely kitchen. I get a bit of heat in the pan. Now I'm just going to dry fry this, I think. I've got a non-stick pan, so that helps a lot with that. But if you're using any, if you're using a normal, a sticky pan, so to say, you may want to put some oil in, because you will find that it will stick quite a lot. Saying that, it's probably going to stick to me now. Show me up, or my pan's going to betray me. Usually what happens in cooking videos, everything goes wrong. Nope, we're okay. Okay, good. Things are definitely okay. So, let's fast forward this section as we cook. We'll go in fast motion. Okay, and back to normal speed. So, they're all cooked up. And just going to get a plate. Got the steering stick staring at me somewhat.
You made me be quiet for so long, like...
Yeah, that's because I was fast forwarding it.
Yeah, but couldn't you have just, like, muted all of that bit?
No, because That would be too smart. I'm not thinking correctly. Anyway, we are done. We've got the food ready. So I will be back in just a few moments. And we are back. Welcome back, guys. How's it going? And I'm just going to pop you down there. Let's try and get it to a better angle. There we go. That's a decent angle. So we have our little pockets of lentils. That's what I'm looking for. As you can see, my brain is working 100% today. So our little pockets of lentils in bread. Let's give it a try. Okay, so as you can see, the internals, there you go. So it's cooked all the way through, but it has like a sort of pancakey texture and sort of taste to it. It's almost like a very unsweetened pancake. The lentils give it that little bit of taste though. It has a sort of vegetably taste. It sort of almost tastes that tastes lentily, of course. But it gives it that sort of peppery, vegetably taste. So it almost tastes a bit like a pasty. It's the best way I can put it. It's really nice. It's really easy to make as well. Let's say with the actual bread, it's just water and flour. Mix them together. I think it's about a quarter of the amount of flour to water. You want to make it so it's not too wet, but you want it to be quite. You want it to be manageable. Just you'll sort of get the feeling for it. You don't want it too slimy. You just want it just sort of clumping together and making a dough basically. Sorry, that's the best way I can put it really. And as I said, the lentils I just cooked for 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes in boiling water from a kettle. So it wasn't over boiled, and I found that's what made the lentils really nice and just, as I said, that little bit al dente, so they're not totally cooked. They've got that little bit of crunch in the middle still, but they're really nice. You get all the flavour, and all of the goodness of the lentil is locked in there as well, so you're not losing any of that. You're not losing anything from the lentils, so you're getting all you can from the lentils. So yeah, honestly, this is a thumbs up. This is something I'd actually eat normally. Like I would happily make this as a snack. It's really good little snack material, and also the good thing is because it's so well, it's contained and it's just a little lump of bread. You could easily put this in your lunchbox or take it with you somewhere. This is something that you could use as a snack that you can take with you, which is something that is really important, of course, if you are in a situation where you need to move a lot, which unfortunately some of these people are. Refugees, generally people in disaster areas and war areas, need to move often. So making a food substance that's easy to actually move and you can eat on the move as well, like something like this you could just chuck in your pocket quite easily. It's not gonna get bits of hairs on it because it's all it's all like hard bits of bread. Wrap it up in a tissue or something and it's easy to take on the move with you. I imagine it will taste just fine cold. It's just going to taste pretty much the same. One thing I would probably say is just the sides are a little bit they're cooked, but they're just a little bit blonde. So as you can see here, this sort of side section is a little bit blonde. Let's just... So as you see in there, it's not uncooked, but it's not fully cooked. It's just got that little bit of rubbery taste to it still. Sort of slightly... You can taste it slightly uncooked. It just tastes a bit watery and floury. It doesn't have that same taste as the bread. So maybe just cook on the sides a little bit. So put the pan like that and that, or make it a little bit thinner. It's a bit hard to make it a bit thinner, but maybe give it a roll or something to make it just a tiny bit thinner, and it might work a little bit better. Alright guys, well, I will see you next meal. Hello guys and girls, how's it going? It's me, Screezilla, and I've got a camera person today so you don't have to just stare at my face like when I'm holding it at this angle, which is good. Thank you, Sticks, you're amazing.
Yay, me.
She has a use at last. It's been a while since I've been able to find one. So...
excuse you, I held the camera the other day.
This is true, you've been useful twice in this time.
I just cleared the clean dishes off of the bench. I'm gonna get to those later tonight.
You've done things, it's something. So tonight for dinner I'm gonna actually be using some of my tofu ration. Yay tofu, because I just fancy something. I've got a massive craving for salt at the moment, and that's really, really like it's it's hard not to. It was hard to get salt because there's not really anything salty in there. There's nothing, there's no crackers or anything like that you can just chew on to get that salt intake. No, not even salt to lick. It's not even salt in their pack. Which just it amazes me because you think salt is a very vital thing. It's something that is needed in diets and stuff. So just not having any salt in there, just it kind of feels a bit weird. But then there is sort of sodium in some of the things that we're eating. So that's somewhat good. So I'm going to be using some of the rice that I had from last night. So I'm just reheating it in the microwave, which is what that beeping was. I feel like I'm on a cook show. I don't hear it. So I'm also doing some chickpeas as well, just in the pot there. There we go. Remembered it at last. And they're actually coming along nicely. Now, with the chickpeas, I've soaked them overnight. So I started soaking them sort of, I don't know, probably yesterday morning actually. So they've been sort of over 24 hours soaking. And they're still a little bit hard, so I'm just boiling them now. And they're starting to get a little bit softer. Poke one. Yeah, they're starting to get to the softness now. So they're sort of getting to the stage where I can eat them without breaking my teeth, which is nice. So I've got the chickpeas going. Chickpeas going, and I've also got more of the lentils done as well. And with the lentils again, I've just boiled them in some hot water from the kettle and left them in there for about 10 minutes or so, just to sort of let them cook a little bit. But they're still a little bit crunchy, so there's a little bit of flavour in them still. So it means there is some flavour to the dish. So I'm just going to actually fry up the tofu quickly. A little bit hot. So this isn't too much of a different dish for me, tofu like this. I actually quite like tofu on its own. It's not the most flavoursome thing in the world, but it is, I just enjoy it. As I said, I am a vegetarian, so I don't eat meat, and the idea of eating sardines makes me feel sick. But I would not manage with sardines.
You'd probably get your salt from that.
Yeah, that's it. At least it would be something that's salty and just, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Maybe I should brine my... It's too late now. But the just sardines, I just couldn't manage eating them just because I'm very fussy about my food. So we'll let this cook a little bit. I want to get them a little bit, sort of, almost toasted. Just so there's a little bit of bite to it, really. So everything's coming along well. And I'm going to probably do another bit of flatbread with it as well. So it's going to be a relatively hearty meal today. I'm pretty much only eating 2 meals a day. Sort of breakfast type thing and then dinner. But I generally only do that anyway. So that's not anything new to my my routine there. Of course, if you do tend to eat breakfast, dinner, lunch, it's probably best to have 3 meals. Just so your body doesn't get too weirded out by it, really. You want to keep up your sort of... routine. There we go. I will remember words eventually as I go. So I'm going to have a couple of chickpeas tonight, but I'm going to use a lot. I'm going to try a couple of them and see if I can make like a very, very unflavoursome hummus with them. I'm going to see if that works. I'm just going to experiment with a couple. If it doesn't work, I'm still going to eat them, but they're just they'll just probably be a bit mushy. That's all. So tofu is starting to brown off a little bit now. Very exciting. Beautiful, beautiful tofu there. Don't want to overcook it because it will get a little bit chewy if you overcook it. Usually I sort of have some hot sauce with it or something like that, or cook it with some garlic and things like that, just to give it a little bit of extra flavour. But this is just tofu on its own. Plate out ready. So it's not going too badly in all honesty. I said this morning, I said in this morning's segment, I was a little bit sick today. I didn't make it to work, unfortunately, which was a bit of a letdown for me because it meant I didn't get coffee. So that was frustrating. But I was too sick to sort of make it out of bed and things. So I was like, well, not going to get coffee anyway. Not going to reward myself with the coffee because I'm going to work. It's not going to work. So I'm missing out on that step. I don't think I've got any shifts next week either while I'm doing this. So it's going to be a week without coffee as well now. A proper week without coffee instead of what I was planning before. So that was upsetting to me. But we've got the rice there. I've used a little bit of vegetable oil on the tofu as well, so hopefully give it a little bit of flavour. And it's coming up nicely. Do. And we'll just put some of the lentils over the rice again, just as a sort of flavour, sort of, really just to give it some flavour. I've sort of had lentils for the past 2 days now, so they're definitely getting eaten a lot. So I'm getting used to lentils now, but they're really good for just adding some flavour to it, just so it's not so bland, basically. It is weird not having like any major vegetables though. It's something that throws me off a little bit because I'm just like, well, I should really have something else with it. I need a vegetable or something. There's not anything like that to eat with it, which feels really weird to me. So I'm just going to pop the tofu on the plate. It's just browned up a little bit. It's a relatively decent sized meal that I've made, and it's not really put a dent in the rations either. There's still quite a lot left, which is good news. Okay. And let's just see how those chickpeas are going. Yeah, they're pretty much there. So I'm going to do a little bit of bread with this one as well. As I said, this is a pretty decent sized meal, so I don't really want to get hungry through the night. Last night I actually had to make a tiny little snack for myself. It was also a bit of a trial run for my breakfast that you saw earlier on.
Oh, I wondered what that was in the fridge. Like, why does he have trays? Like, what?
What was he doing? You know, why does he have trays of stuff still? He's not eating anything. How can he need to have the fridge still? So yeah, that's it. Oh, Christ. Knocked myself out in the fridge.
Next hospital trip.
Yep.
What have you been eating today?
Bugger all. As I said, with the bread, I basically have made up a batch to put in the fridge, so I've got some spare. Chickpeas out. There we go. So a couple of chickpeas on there, which is nice. I'm going to keep boiling the rest of them for my experiment later on. Get them nice and soft, basically. That is the plan, at least. So the flat pan bread is coming along nice. It's almost like a pancake consistency now because it's been a bit flattened over the last couple of days. But it gives it a sort of nice, almost like a naan bread. That's the word I'm looking for. Naan bread taste. There we go. Yeah, it's almost like a naan bread when it's sort of like this. It gives it some sort of something to eat. Really, it's quite nice. It's not. It needs an extra couple of bits on it, but it works. That's the thing. So even as a sort of regular sort of flatbread, you know, the simple the simple bread and water method. Sorry, bread and water. Flour and water method works really well. It makes it come up decent and it tastes bread-like. That's the main thing. You know, normally when I'm doing flatbread, I'll add, you know, extra bits to it. I said in last night's video, I sort of use yogurt or something like that in my naan bread recipe. But honestly, I can just do it with water and flour. It's not that much difference between the two, really. So yeah, that's all going. So I'll finish off this flatbread and then I'll come back to you as I'm eating it. See you in a second. Okay, so we're back at the desk again. This is my room where I eat everything anyway. So back here again. So dinner is prepared. Very sort of simple little meal. Nothing too spectacular, as I said. I got the tofu today. I opened up the tofu. I'm probably going to have a bit of tofu every other couple of days just to spare it out. So let's give this a bit of a try with everything. I imagine it's going to taste like tofu, lentils, and rice. Forgot to get the chickpea in there. Oh. Get the chickpea on the fork now. It's the hard part. Come on. It's a meal. It's not bad. It's something that you could eat pretty okayly. It's a bit dry again. That's going to be a common problem, I feel. I might try and make something that's not quite as dry tomorrow night or Sunday night, depending on how I'm feeling. But it's a decent sized meal. This is decent portions. There's lots of good food that's going to fill me up. That's the thing. So hopefully I won't feel like a snack tonight, like I did last night. But it was beneficial because it did mean I had a sort of little recipe for breakfast with those little flatbreads. So something a little bit different. As I say, this one is very sort of simple. Cook all the things separately and then put them together. I'm going to try and make some more interesting recipes later on. Well, I'm going to enjoy my dinner now, so I will catch you all later. Bye-bye. Okay, well, I have a bit of a headache now, which isn't so good. Just normal sickness stuff, though. I don't think it's anything to do with diet. Food today wasn't too bad, in all honesty. The rice was good, the chickpea was good, the lentil was good, bread was good. Breakfast was decent. No, I didn't feel hungry until this afternoon for the breakfast. Dinner's filled me up. So, on to the next day, really. It's going well. I just wanted to let people know as well that this is the main predominant thing at the moment is, of course, the refugees in Syria. Of course, it's not just that Act for Peace is raising money for. They do work all over the world. I would really recommend looking at Act for Peace's website to see where they do deliver to and what they do for people. It's quite a lot of things. I'm getting a bit nervous that I'm not going to raise any money now. I must admit, I'm definitely in that stage of being like, well, look, okay, I'll share it around and talk to friends about it, but I know a lot of people are in hard times at the moment, that's the problem. But I do sort of hold on hope that something will happen. I don't know if it will be from while I'm doing this, though, because of course this is going to live on. This isn't just this week. This is what I have to keep reminding myself. This YouTube video is not just for this week, of course. It's not for right now. It's going to be up there forever. And it's going to give people the opportunity to donate forever. So people... It'll also raise awareness forever. It's going to keep doing that. It's going to do that for many years, and people might look at it in 5 years' time and decide to help out. So I have to think a bit like that in regards to the fundraising. But still, it would be nice to make it would be nice to make 256 while I'm recording, because I would very much like that. It would be a nice little thing to do. But as I said, we'll see how it goes. I'm not keeping my hopes up for it, but I'm hoping we'll get something. Alright, well, have a nice day, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Bye-bye.